Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for coming and hanging out with us a little bit. This isn't a podcast per se. I just wanted to do a quick video, but I wanted some advice and some input from Mooch and Next Gen on this subject as well, because I waited a couple days. This news broke a couple days ago, and I was like, okay, well, who's going to actually come out and say something about this? Because you expected people to do that, and the reason why I say that is because there was that company King or whatever. They tried to patent the word saga, right? Because they were the Candy Crush Saga owners, and they didn't want anybody else to use that term saga unless they paid them. And people flipped out. You had Angry Joe, Boogie. You had everybody flipping out doing videos about this stuff, right? Everybody was just flipping. How can you patent a word? How can you do this? How can you do that? How can you say, have the rights to the word saga? Now we have found out that Sony, and this is directly with the PlayStation division, tried to patent the term Let's Play. And if you guys are unfamiliar, there's millions of content creators, gaming creators on YouTube that use this term called Let's Play for different playthroughs of video games and things like that. Basically meaning Sony wanted to monopolize that, and anybody that creates content then would owe Sony money whenever they use that. And the interesting thing is that Sony was refused this, right? But only because it was similar to a different patented word that's spelled Let's Play with a Z or something like that. So they could actually change it up and reapply for that and possibly get it. And the main thing is, it's been a couple days. No, not a word from Boogie, not a word from Angry Joe, not a word from Greg Miller or Colin Moriarty. It's just like some of the smaller sites are running with it, but no real big sites or anything like that. Nothing that you would possibly expect to do. I mean, what's your guys' take on this?
Well, let me just chime in real quick because I'm biting my tongue here. When the Nintendo thing came out that you couldn't do certain rules and regulations, and when what's that new thing that came out recently, RedTube or whatever it is, whatever it was, they were like, Boogie came out right away and he says to everybody, "This is an outrage. Anybody who has a YouTube channel needs to understand that this is taking money right out of our mouth. This is bread right out of your mouth for your families. There's a lot of us that are dedicated YouTube people. It's a shame." And he does all this liberal bullshit that try and make everybody want to keep on hitting retweet and heart and this and that and favorite, all this shit so it can get up to the top, And this morning I wrote, where's Angry Joe? Where is Boogie on this right now? Nobody says anything because it's Sony. It is a disgusting shame. And you know what? This is how I knew something was on. I got a tweet from somebody today that literally said, "Mooch, I follow you, and you usually what you say it's something I don't agree with, and I thought you were just chasing stars with all this stuff with Sony." And he goes, "Now I actually see what you're saying," and he goes, #respect. Because to be honest with you, it's every single week we do this on this show, on BGST. Z does his channel. Crap, I got my videos. We keep on trying to tell you guys and enlighten you. We're not telling you something drastic. We're trying to open your eyes. Now you're seeing a different light. Why is it nobody who's got these 100,000, 200,000, 1 million subscribers, nobody comes out and does any backlash against Sony with Let's Play? Let's Play would take the money, the food, the bread out of their mouth, and nobody says anything. Why? Because it's Sony. And let me tell you why. If you all don't believe me, you think we're still wearing tinfoil hats? Go back to the 2013 release of these video game systems, okay? And watch Sony flew out to Japan and flew out to other parts of California, all on Sony's dime. And there's pictures of him. And I know if Jamie Moran's listening, he'll post them on Twitter right now. There's pictures of Boogie sitting in front of tons of PS4 software, video games, all for free, handed to him. These people, listen, there's different ways to pay people off, okay? You pay them with dinner vouchers, this and that, electronics. It's not always a check or hard cold cash, okay? Because that's easily traceable these days. It's not the way it used to be in the 40s, 50s, 60s when it was true, when we had true gangster shit. Nowadays, you got to do gangster shit, you got to do it under the table, and you got to be sneaky about it. This is the kind of bullshit we've been talking about. Nothing's been reported. Why isn't IGN in an uproar? Because whenever Microsoft does anything, I mean, nothing even close or remote to this, there's an uproar. And the other part, then I'm going to let Zaire speak his mind. The other part that bugs me is now, listen, you know, old school gangster talk, keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer. Watch your YouTube timeline tonight. Go on and look at all the quote-unquote Xbox guys that say that they're your guys, okay? And they go on there and they make videos tonight after the fact that I just want everyone to know that I think this is not fair. After the verdict came out that they said that they would not allow the Let's Play slogan to be trademarked by Sony. What if this actually went through? Why wasn't there? We knew about this for a week. We talked about it here on BGST. We skimmed it, and then we were all talking behind the scenes. Let's say, who's going to bring this up first? Who's actually going to be the big publication to make us think about this? Because there's millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars at play here that Sony can just scoop in and take from the precious YouTubers who live every day off of that channel that they've created so hard for. But they don't say nothing for Sony, and yet they chomp at the bit for Nintendo, and they chomp at the bit at Microsoft. So just watch your timeline, and now watch all the people that we always have issues with. Now they're going to come out and save face and be like, that's kind of crap. That's not really what we know. That's inappropriate. That shouldn't have happened. Just watch all the hypocrisy all unfold. Make a big bowl of popcorn. Enjoy yourself tonight on YouTube. Man, I was all day want to get that off my chest. These guys are so
to be honest, this doesn't surprise me. Sony has actually gone on the record, and also they've been they feel like they've always felt like walkthroughs and let's plays that you're more or less stealing from them by you actually watch someone play their game. They've always kind of felt like that you're stealing their intellectual property.
And they did stop the Let's Plays and the Twitch
on the
streams
PlayStation 4. Remember when they first launched, you weren't able to stream certain scenes,
and until Dawn, you weren't. They stopped that as well for a while. Like
they
didn't want people to look at that. So
yeah, but then they didn't want the backlash, because then the Xbox One got Twitch, and they've always felt this way. But just think about the ramifications if this would have went through. I want you guys to go into your YouTube, you're listening, and just type in Let's Play. Look at the millions of videos that pop up. And if they were able to monetize that right there, oh boy, Sony back in business, baby. You know what? They said, I don't know what shrewd motherfucker was sitting around counting the peanuts. They would have been back in business. They was no more selling fax machines, no more selling office buildings. That would have put them right back on top. And I think that is fucked up. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care how you spin it. Guys say, come on, we always say that, well, you guys you just hate on Sony. I'm just telling you from personal experience, Sony is one of the worst, when I say worst companies in the world, this is what their how should I say, with their customer service. All that for the players, DRM. And they come and say, we won't restrict you from trading games. But if you look at the article on Eurogamer, and I'm looking at this shit. Jack Tritton says there, and they had it in parentheses, but we have something in place if third party wanting to use this. And I'm saying there's no way in hell that Ubisoft is going to protect their $75 million investment on the Xbox One and not do the same thing on the PlayStation 4. That doesn't make any fucking sense. You know what I mean? And then then it comes out once so we're not about the DRM, and they got some of the strictest DRM policies out of the three. God forbid if you bought one all digital on your PlayStation 4, if somebody spent $2.75 on FIFA, and you don't pay that shit, Sony will lock you out your account, and every game that you bought digitally on your PlayStation 4, you will no longer have access to. It's been like 4 stories like this that came out alone. Imagine shit we didn't hear about. This does not surprise me. Sony is horrible when it comes to customer service. I bought a PlayStation 2 years and years ago. It stopped reading discs and Blu-rays, DVDs and games about 4 months in. I called them on the phone. Man, I got a song and a dance, and just know that I had to buy me another motherfucking PlayStation 2. Sony wasn't trying to hear that shit, you know what I mean? Like I said in the day, but let's, we're gonna talk about it. It's gonna go away. Like you said, the boogies and and for the play, no one's gonna say shit. You know what I mean? Like they did on this whole bandwagon last year. You remember Boogie? No parody. And they come to find out it wasn't. You know what I mean? It was actually it's the Xbox One with the more powerful, beefier CPU. Maybe it was the PlayStation 4 holding the Xbox One back. You think he did a video talking about no parody about that shit there?
No.
It is what it is, man.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this is like kind of infuriating. This goes along the line of what we've been saying. You know, just the fact that people are like acting like it's a big deal. Like I'm looking at the chat box right now. You've got people that are just acting like no big deal. Hey, if Sony were to copyright this term, where does it stop? You know, anybody that does any kind of content, you know, would owe Sony money. People bitched a fit about Nintendo when they wanted to do this. Remember, like you have to go through Nintendo content creator stuff in order to put Nintendo content out, and they take a part of that. Can you imagine all the people that do big time Let's Plays? And what's funny is somebody just tweeted me. They tweeted Angry Joe about this, and Angry Joe goes, "Nice try, Xbox fanboy." So I mean, what? He's not going to talk about it? You know what I mean? Because remember this, right? And Angry Joe made a tweet the other day, and I don't follow him. I've never watched a video that he's done, but I'm aware of stuff that he does. Yes. And I remember him doing a video about Tomb Raider being exclusive on the Xbox One, and people were like, "Oh man, all he was doing was hating on the Xbox and Microsoft that whole time, right?" And he did this apparently this big like outrageous video or whatever, right? Then when it came out that Street Fighter 5, because he's like, no third-party game that was multi-platform should ever be exclusive for any amount of time, blah blah blah. And then you know what I'm saying? And then what he does is when Street Fighter 5 comes out, he did a video and somebody showed it to me, and he's just like sitting there. It's not angry or anything. It's just him going, well, I guess I got to do one because I did one for this. You know what I'm saying? It was like he was just totally pandering, even though Street Fighter 5 was the same type of deal where it was you know, multi-platform game, and it's so these guys that think that they don't have an agenda is completely off base. They obviously have an agenda. Are you going to hear from Greg Miller and all these people? No. They're not going to say anything about this. They would probably love it. Let's Play is home now on PlayStation, just like the Kojima shit, right? Like Kojima's home on PlayStation. Like I could imagine something like that being done. And it's just absolutely
the balls of Sony though. Like god damn.
You know, hey,
the goal to do something like
if you
gangsters.
follow me or Jamie Moran, I just retweeted out what he sent. It's a picture of Boogie during the PS4 release. They gave him, he got a PS4, he got a PlayStation camera, an extra controller. An extra controller. That's when you know it's just fucking gifts, just payoffs. What? His fat ass can't use the one in the box? No, they gave him an extra fucking controller. Then they gave him Just Dance. And then they gave him 6, 7, I don't know, all the multi-plats and anything that came out with it. This is what I'm saying. And this is a guy that's supposed to be the person that you go on and listen to every week as he's a real, honest-to-God, honest opinion. That's an honest opinion. This is ridiculous. This is getting to the point where, you know, and you had Angry Joe doing an interview with Larry Herb, one of the basically vice presidents. You know, I don't know his actual slogan, but I believe he's a vice president of marketing or he does something along those lines. Public relations, and just absolutely interrogates him. Do you realize, Angry Joe, that you do a show from your bedroom? I mean, are you fucking kidding me? You're going to go up and talk to a man with that kind of prestige and that kind of a job title? Like, that's the problem these days is there's no respect anymore. You know what I mean? There's no respect for anything like that, and there's nobody. Everything's one-sided. The news is just bad news. It's never anything legit anymore. And that's why I do. People always say, why do you do what you do? I do it because of that one tweet I got today. I'm sure there was a lot of people. I never saw that. I made 3 different tweets at like around between 9 and 10:30 this morning, and I can't believe the amount of retweets and hits it's gotten and the interactions it's gotten. It's amazing because now you can do that on Twitter. You go in and see everyone that's interacted with your tweet and where it's gone and who's retweeting it. It's amazing, all the analytics. And like, it's just amazing. There are people that care, and there are people that are starting to pay attention. And that one tweet where the guy goes, respect from now on, because he definitely did not give a shit what I was saying earlier. Because you know what? You've sometimes got to keep drilling the idea and show people examples. This was just something that really resonated with me today. It's something that the reason I do what I do is to show you that the media is somehow convoluted with Sony. We don't know yet. Like I said, we'll find out when somebody rats in about 5 to 6, 7 years when somebody gets like a $30,000, $50,000 drop to talk. You know what I mean? And you start to hear the shit that comes out, and that's when we'll actually find out what kind of ties or what's going on. I did an interview. If you want to go back on my channel, I did on the Crossfire podcast. I had Jason Hoff from JKB on, who's been doing all kinds of things with the media for a very long time. And if you fast forward, it's a very long, it's the one Crap gave me a little shit for. It's like a 3-hour interview. But if you fast forward to about an hour and a half into it and listen to the last hour and a half, you'll hear about instances and situations where media go to these Sony events or E3 and Sony has gift bags. Not to say Microsoft doesn't, but Sony does it in a much shadier way. And it was just interesting to hear about. You know, again, Microsoft has their gift bags, and everybody gets a gift bag, whether you go to the Emmys or you go to E3. But when you're Sony, you get a little extra in the bag. You know what I mean? So that's just the way it is. You know, it's not tinfoil hat shit. This is just, it's all really public knowledge. But nobody talks about it because why ruin a good time? So,
yeah,
you know.
well, I'm just waiting. Like, okay, Red Dragon, props to him. He got word out. You know, I haven't actually watched his video yet, but I heard that he did do one at least.
Yeah, he did. So he did do one.
Yeah.
But
So
he
props
did,
to him.
actually, he did a video. And shout out to Reg, my man. It didn't really go into depth. I'm gonna read this line right here. It says here that basically what Sony was trying to lay claim over any videos that are dubbed Let's Play. This is an article right here. You know what I mean? This, like I said, just type in Let's Play inside YouTube and see the thousands upon thousands of videos that pop up. That's bananas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sometimes I get a content ID strike claim from somebody might have been riding by and somebody been bumping LL Cool J cars ride by with the booming system. I might get a ID content claim from Def Jam. You know, wanting to monetize my videos, so I just, you know, just take the ads up or whatever. But could you imagine, like, that's bananas? You know.
Yeah, you know what this is the equivalent of in big business? When you're $1 billion business, this is the equivalent, and I'm going to use a Friday joke here. When a dude in a store slips and falls, and he's like, "Oh, my neck and my back,
Yeah.
my neck and my back," and I'll settle out of court for $20. You know what I mean? Like this is the same shit. When you're nickeling and diming YouTube people with a quote, and you're $1 billion business, that's why Microsoft. If somebody actually walked into an office and was like, Phil, Satya, I was thinking the best way for us to maybe recoup about $10 or $15 million a year would be if we just coined Let's Play. They'd be like, "You're fired. Get the fuck out of my face." Like, that's insane. It's an insane thing to do. It's like literally going into your customers' pockets and taking a quarter. It is absolutely the most scumbag thing to do in the business world that you could think of. And Sony did it, and nobody, not a soul,
That
except
is
the
some
three
creepy
of us,
shit.
and a couple of fakes.
Hey, yo, that is some
reporting.
motherfucking 3-card Molly Dilla from the bottom
Ain't
of the
it?
dick.
Ain't it? That's what I'm saying, Z. That's what I'm saying.
Damn. Yo, son.
I tweeted Yoshida today. I was like, "Hey Yoshida," I was like, "Did you see that, Mooch?"
No.
I was like, "Hey Yoshida, why did you guys try to trademark the term Let's Play? It seems like a pretty greedy move on Sony's part." I mean, obviously no
I
response.
didn't block
But,
you?
No, I was gonna
Well,
say
I
you
guess-
didn't.
I guess-
I was
I
blocked
guess
a while
not.
ago.
I guess
blocked.
not. Maybe he dropped my old. He blocked my old account, but that old account I don't use animore. But
I got blocked for asking was the red light the indication the place is for overheating. He said no and blocked me.
I was probably legitimately blocked. I went after him and Fatboy Boys for their stupid commercial and just saying, "Aren't you the one starting this console war with these types of commercials?"
yeah.
Blocked.
Well, Yoshida also retweeted out that Digital Foundry article, "The Art of Counting Pixels in Video Games." You know what I mean? Like, totally fueling on the console for fanboy wars or whatever. But to me, like, you know, this thing should have seemed like something that the community as a whole should have got upset about.
They
Like,
should.
where's to arms? You know, I mean, you guys were all over Microsoft. Imagine,
They
just
should.
imagine, Microsoft. It comes out 2 days ago. Microsoft tries to patent Let's Play. What happens? How many people have done videos by now? How many people would have 2 days later? How many?
Redmond would be on fire. It would look like one of those fucking apocalypse movies.
Yeah.
The whole
Exactly.
campus would be in flames.
Exactly. And anybody that doesn't agree with that needs to fucking wake up, because that's the world we live in. They would be all over this, and everybody knows it. If Microsoft did this, there would be hate. They would be trying to burn down Redmond, like you said. They would have to be apologizing. "Oh, sorry, blah blah blah." You know what I mean? Like Sony, not a fucking peep from them. Not a goddamn peep. Not a peep from any of these. It's like almost an afterthought. It's like, hey, here's today's news is I'm Damon Hatfield, and here's this and this. By the way, Sony tried to trademark the term "Let's Play," but on to something else. You know what I mean? It's like they totally brush it under the rug, and it's like, like, are you even going to see anything about this? I don't think you are. Like, just other than it swept under the rug, like nobody cares. Like even the people in here, they're just like, oh, that's not a big deal. They don't understand the ramifications of something like this, and I think that it's absolutely ridiculous. And again, this isn't Xbox Nation or anything. I'm going to wrap it up. I only wanted to cover this one topic real quick. Xbox Nation is going to be tomorrow night, but if you guys have a problem with it, man, say so in the comments, man. You can't just let Sony get away with every goddamn thing, because it seems like that's what's happening lately. Is they
Everybody
are absolutely.
Go tweet Yoshida right now. Nope.
Yeah, go treat him at Yosp, YOSP.
And you guys just beat me to it. You guys are saying tweet him. You know what I say? If you follow Boogie or Angry Joe, just like anything else in this country, if you want to vote, you vote with your wallet. And when you hit that little unsubscribe button and you don't view their shit, why don't you show them how you can hurt them? Because apparently they didn't care if Sony was going to take the money out of their pocket. So why don't you take the money out of their pocket and hit the unsub button? That's my recommendation.
Yeah.
Bang, bang.
Well, I mean, look, if they do something like that, I think that people, I don't do a lot of Let's Plays, but I do have a handful, so I think that would piss me off more than anything.
Absolutely.
It would just be like crap plays from now on or something like that, man. Like I could have.
That's bullshit.
It pisses me off. Like, I mean, I can't be the only one that's like flabbergasted at this shit.
It's bullshit.
You know what I mean? It's
like people will probably find a workaround. It's the fact that they can go back and claim so many thousands, millions of videos, and if you have a Let's Play, I don't care if you're on our side, if you hate us, if you don't, if you like us, that's irrelevant at this point. You know what I mean? It's a common fucking thing that people should have, is that this is bullshit. It's anti-consumer, it's anti-gamer, it's anti-YouTuber, it's anti-everything. It's only pro-Sony, like every goddamn thing else they do lately, and nobody seems to care. They're cocky as fuck right now. They're reverting back to 10 years ago when they had that lead. Fucking PS4. I can't.
Exactly, man. I'm thinking about the same thing. After Uncharted 4 is out, I'm fucking done with that shit.
Well, listen, I got news for you, and I know that, like you said, crap, this is an Xbox Nation, but that VR, and the more and more I keep reading about it, today, you know what it was listed as? A mid-range VR unit. That's how it's being advertised. So you're trying to tell me that you're going to put a product out there between, let's just say the range, okay? Nobody knows. It's on internet.
Well, this is what they said. Oculus Rift's 100% more powerful than it. So
that's what I'm saying. So it's a mid-range VR unit for between $400 and $800. Nobody knows the actual price. But even at the low point, even at $400, you're going to have the goal. Tim Dog said it in our BGST. He said, if you have $400 extra, Sony fans, and you have a PS4, and you can either go get an Xbox One and get Tomb Raider and Halo and Gears Ultimate and these other games that are coming out and Quantum Break in the next couple of months, or you're going to go buy this thing and play Robot Golf and Office Simulator, you're a damn fool. You're a fool. And, I'll be honest with you. This right here, we all know this. We've been talking about it for about a year now, guys, on BGST, that we know that Sony's first-party studios and the bulk of their money, and your PSN money, by the way, your PS Plus money, is all going to VR. So if this fails, this could be you may not see the Sony PS4 name go away, but you may see a 51% stockholder step in to help them, because they put a lot of eggs in that basket. And if this thing sinks, like I think it certainly will, I don't think VR will as far as Oculus. But if this is already being called a mid-range, if you're $400 in your mid-range, I'll give you $200 extra, and I'll go get an Oculus because it's high-end. That's me personally as a consumer.
Yeah, I think that hopefully, man, we're going to cover this a little bit more tomorrow as well in depth. I just wanted to do a little something today because I try to get something out every day. If you guys are pissed off, you have every right to be, Jamie Moran says that they did talk about it on Kind of Funny Games, which is Greg Miller and Colin Moriarty. Yeah. They basically said for 10 seconds, why would Sony want to ruin their good graces? And then that's basically it. They swept it under the rug, which I'm not surprised because that's what they do. I mean, you're talking about two guys who talked up Resogun for a fucking year.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Wasn't that game free, crap? Wasn't that game free?
Yeah.
I don't know if it was free. It wasn't full price. Like, I bought it on...
Resogun was free at launch.
Not anymore.
It was on PSN Plus at launch,
Yeah,
right? But
yeah.
I bought it on sale on PS3 for like $350 or something, right? And that was before I had a PS4. Then when I got a PS4, it was it was a cross buy or whatever, so I could download it free on that and Vita. And it's like the game is super boring. It's really repetitive. It's really just a throwback to some of those old school games. You know what I mean? You play it for 10 minutes here or there, and then it gets old or whatever. But they basically said that was the reason to own a PS4 for like the first year. You know, like, oh, let's talk Resogun or whatever. You know, it was such pandering nonsense. You know what I mean? But
That's like on
hopefully, you
Xbox
guys, you know,
Geometry Wars or some shit. Bullshit.
yeah, exactly. And so, I mean, it was kind of ridiculous or whatever. But anyway, make sure you guys like the video and subscribe and all that stuff, and check out Next Gen's channel and Mooch's channel. Next Gen gets to do podcasts again next month. So
Yeah, I'm getting out of jail. I'm off parole.
get out of jail free
Nice,
card.
Yeah.
And yeah, make sure you know what in the link in every description I post a link to my Twitter, to my Facebook page, and to the Redbubble merchandise thing. I've said it a million times, man. Let's say you're kind of a nerdy motherfucker. You sport PlayStation stuff or whatever. You look like a dumb nerd or Harry Potter.
Well, you would just hate crap. You want to make crap. We're gonna albino rhino shirt.
Yeah, then you can buy swag at our shirts and merchandise at that link. You want one of me pissing on a PS4? You got that. You got an albino rhino one. You got maybe Showstopper's your favorite, or Mooch in his Captain America get up, or Tim Dog or whatever. Well, I think they hit us with the copyright for that one.
Yeah, they did. I gotta owe them $4 or something. I got sued for $4.
Cease and desist, bitch.
Yeah, $4 over. You motherfuckers out there in YouTube, y'all got too much time in your hand. I seen one guy complaining about it in the comment section. I ain't thinking about it. The next thing I know, a week later, I get an email from what's that fucking company, cartoon company? Does fucking, what's the
I don't know, man. Who was that? Danger Dog or something? No,
AMC.
Underdog
fuck. But anyway, yeah, I owed him $4. Literally.
That's funny as hell. But anyway, man, Xbox Nation will catch you back here tomorrow, man. This is fucked up. Sony, don't let them get a free pass on this, right? Rack them up, man. Sony's a bunch of scumbags.